Not a whole lot.
Of the school buildings, that's out of the realm here, but courthouse and the mall and this building wanted some corrective actions, some stuff that we've worked through that we were able to fix. That they were to satisfy them enough, some stuff we were not, but we're in pretty good shape with that. We got to do some stuff to the mall over where that maintenance room is, where we had a roof issue before, where we've kind of patched it and it's been okay, but they're not particularly happy with that. But other than that, we got them satisfied. That policy will renew on August 1st. So they were trying to get out in front of that. So spent some time doing that since the last meeting. And that's about it, really.
David has, he's been painting the yellow part that on the curves.
Mhm.
He started that painting it, and we have got to put in some speed bumps.
Yeah.
And where some of the drains where they paved, we've got to get some rings to go in there to make that leveled out. So we'll get those done, and they've got just a little sealant and just a little more painting they've got to do out there, and they'll be totally done with them all.
Some of the striping up front where the entrance way is, the main entrance, the double lane entrance in front of that ATM machine, they got to do the striping there. Couple of one, I think one more of the fire lanes around backs and striping. It's almost complete, but the hope is to see what the invoicing is going to come back with so far, and then use the speed bumps and the collar purchases for those drains off of that. So we're kind of in a holding pattern on that right now. We've got pricing, but I think we're going to wait a little bit. Nothing another week won't hurt.
So they're gonna raise those drains up level with the pavement?
There is, there's a collar that they use, especially like the city
Yeah.
uses them.
Yeah,
It's a metal ring that goes over where the concrete was poured for the drain.
that's right.
And then it's got a turnbuckle on it that you expand it or tighten it however you want and it fit. And then the manhole lid fits on that. And then you bring, whether it be some hot mix or something, and patch so they're not so deep.
Right, exactly.
So, getting
You
those.
can get them spacers,
Yeah, that's right.
half inch or
Yeah.
about,
We got to do it individually by how much asphalt was, you couldn't just order a blanket.
No.
Because each one of them's
Yeah.
different, so we've got to go through now and mark them in order exactly one for
Yeah.
that drain, because one of them might need a half inch and one of them may need 3 to 4 inches.
Exactly.
yeah, but you can get them in different.
And we get them in different
Yeah.
heights.
And some of them are deeper than others
We had
based
to
on how
wait,
much asphalt we had to
got
put
a
in.
Paving project before we could actually do that.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
You get that, you talk to Stephen.
Yeah, I talked to Stephen, yeah.
It
The
looks
cut-
good. It looks good over there.
Yeah, I think it really looks good.
Yeah.
I think they've done a good job.
Anything else maintenance department wise?
Not report wise.
What about the generator? Any progress on that?
Terry's talked with one mechanical folks. He knows more about
Generator out here, all we're waiting on, it looks like there's not gonna be any way that I'm gonna have to shut the building down at some point to make that transition.
Right.
Because we've not got a off day. It looks like maybe one Friday. I'm gonna have to pull the trigger and send people in this building home because electricity will be off in 3 to 4 hours. If they have any issue, it could be off a little longer.
Yeah.
But that's all they like. They're waiting on
Okay.
us to coordinate that date to cook the generator, finish the total work, and they'll be done.
It's in there. It's just not hooked up yet.
Well, the problem is they got to kill the power coming into the building
No, I understand. Yeah.
and all
Yeah.
that, and put those wires all together where they need to be.
Yep. Okay.
So that's all we're waiting on. We're gonna correspond with them. I was hoping we could do it election day, but I found out we couldn't do it election day.
Yeah.
And
And there's a chemical pump went down at the courthouse and that loops on that boiler system. We did have to replace it. But that's something that's happened since the last meeting. But
Yeah.
did he come and fix it? He was supposed to come
He's got
like
tomorrow.
tomorrow? Okay. He was supposed to come last Friday, but I think he got hung up, but it's fixed.
The part didn't arrive until this week. The hump didn't
Okay.
come until this week, so he's coming from it.
And we did meet with the guys that got the bid on the fascia board
Mhm.
of the
Yep.
courthouse.
Yeah, they're gonna start on the 13th, the day after the Safe Baby Court open house days.
What day? Sorry.
The 13th of May, their start date. And they did guarantee us to be done before the 4th of July activities on the square, so.
It's good. I have a motion to approve the maintenance department report.
I'll make a motion.
Chris makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Scott second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, next thing is discuss any other building issues. Which one of y'all three you want to go? Cassie, David, Jason?
I don't hear anyone.
Nobody?
They know more about it than, I mean, I know that they know more than I do. But
Well, we've got about three things that are kind of in motion, I guess. The first one is, Jason's got the quote, and that's on, working on the
Scott.
glass enclosure, on the front side. I call it the legal side, on the circuit court clerk office where it's wide open today. So there's a quote there from Martin and Glenn to put a glass wall up, very similar to what's on the other side. Very similar to what's on Myra's side over there, that gives a little more protection between the employees and the public. There's been a few times where people's wanted to reach over the counter to get stuff and all this kind of stuff, and it needs to be there, and it appears to be a reasonable quote for what they're gonna have to do, so, because they're gonna have to anchor off above the drop ceiling, to tie it off, and it'll have metal stays. We're gonna go with black so it matches the trim of what we put in there already, make it look nice, but that way it'll be structurally sound, and we're leaving big enough openings for lawyers to be able to hand big packets of stuff through, that sort of thing, so. It's gonna up the security side for them. That side's been open ever since we put the enclosure up on the, what I call the general public side, but the general public uses both sides, so we really need to finish that off.
We got money in the restricted funds.
yes,
That's $5,200, is that right?
5520.
5520.
5520. Well, I knew that.
And that's through, of course, through Martin and Glenn. He feels like he doesn't know if he'll be able to get all the work done by July 1st, because the lead time on some of the glass and stuff, but
as long as it's allocated
Right.
before we're all right.
No.
we need to get PO initiated.
All right, any more discussion, or do I have a motion?
Where did we say the money was coming from?
It needs to come out of that restricted fund.
Make a motion, make a motion,
707.
Scott makes,
make a motion to take 5580, was it?
20.
5520 out of the restricted.
I would advise putting couple of $100 in there just in case, because this is just a quote. If they need something else or whatever, we'd have to make a whole new, I hate to make a PO for $55 because they needed some kind of anchor or some kind of thing. I would suggest doing like $5,700, so 180 extra bucks. And we'll just liquidate it if they don't use it. But it does save time and paperwork down here. If we were to go over a little bit, we'd have to,
Right.
we could take it out of a different budget, but it's a whole other, that's cleaner if we just put a little bit more in there, just in case.
For the protection glass in the juvenile court,
All right,
juvenile
Scott,
courtroom.
Scott's made a motion, we take $5,700 out of the restricted fund to put safety glass in Cassie's office on the legal side. Do I have
I'll second.
Scott, Chris is second, any more discussion?
How much is left in the restricted fund? You know,
I don't know right offhand.
Wasn't it about 27,000? I think that's right.
So that's, seems about right.
I think that was right last time. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. All right,
There's a couple other things that we're in the works on, or have done all the quote legwork part of it anyway. As you know, in the last few years, we've upgraded the general public side and where the countertops were coming apart, and cabinets weren't working, and drawers. We've done that. The only thing we hadn't done was the very front office. And so we're in the same situation there. A lot of the desk drawers won't open, the filing cabinet drawers won't open. And she's got, with the amount of people that she's got working in there, they've got a corner about the size of that closet they're trying to use for a break area, and just stuff piled up. So we've done a whole new layout in there. Going to move a couple of electrical plugs around, put some new furniture in. It's going to give her more storage, more capabilities in there. Plus neaten up the little break area on the other side. We went through the new company, CWC, I think that you found, or you ordered chairs for the main courtroom.
No, that went through Staples, did it? Or Office Depot?
Yes, they,
Yeah, is this the company that they were using, UT was using? Because we had this conversation.
Yeah, I think so. And so
That may be the,
we went through them, got some excellent pricing, because we're gonna be able to redo all the furniture in there and the cabinets and some bookshelves and everything, for about $2,200 to do the whole thing. And then there's an extra, the stuff that we need at Lowe's to finish the little break area is all standard off the shelf stuff. Lowe's number, is around 1,400. Yeah, 1,389 total, and that's all off the shelf stuff readily available. So for about $3,500 to updo the entire place. So, and that'll be pretty much everything in her office area upgraded over the last few years. So,
Last eight.
Huh?
The last eight.
so
It's just some cabinet and a laminate countertop. So we can have somewhere to,
we're just buying off the shelf stuff, and
we just don't have any. When you go in there to like microwave your food, you don't have anywhere to put it. To put it even in the microwave. Microwave's sitting on a little table thing, and it's not functional.
who's on, you was talking about doing electrical plugs. Damon gonna do that, or?
if we have to, there's another topic here, but one of the things that I tapped into is, McMillan Electric is going to come and do a free electrical survey of the courthouse. We're gonna check all the main power distribution panels, make sure everything is, nothing overloaded, it's all free, it's through a TVA grant. So we coordinate it through McMillan Electric. In other words, they charge TVA, it's a TVA grant. TVA pays for it, but they're gonna look at our whole electrical distribution and see. I know we've got more service in the basement that we thought we had. So if we need to pull another line in, we can do that pretty easily now. So we may do this one totally different. We may go straight up through the ceiling and then over the ceiling down, as opposed to, because both ends of the courthouse is sitting on dirt. I mean, it's hard to fish services up from the bottom, so we'll probably take it and drop it down from the top. So, and I talked to the TCAP people about doing it, so we're not gonna have any labor involved. You know, you're looking at probably a couple $100 worth of wiring and plugs, and so we're looking at. So, so
Hey, what was the overall figure again to complete everything? Looking like
$3,500.
35.
slightly over 29,000 is what's left in
Okay.
restricted fund.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
but we took 57 off that 29, so
Right.
You say in-
so that would knock it down to what?
1903.
But let's say it's $3,800.
Come on.
That gives me a little money for buy wire and plugs for them. What we've tried to do is redo the layout to use the existing electrical as best we can. But, there is one area, technically we're in violation. The refrigerator and the microwave are supposed to be on different circuits.
Different
We're probably
circuits.
gonna drop another circuit in there, so.
I think it happened at, somewhere else in town. too.
So we still got
Sometimes we
23,
run if we run the microwave, we trip over.
23.
Should be stage one.
Should be at 1980 if you do this 35.
Yeah. But I mean, we've got, yeah.
After what's already been passed in this committee, we're at
Yeah.
23.3.
He said 38.
Yeah,
38.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be 19.5 would be left if you pass that current conversation.
And that's pretty much, I know we talked about, that's pretty much everything.
That's everything. I'm gonna ask for Damon's help to put it together. They wanted $2,000 to come assemble it, and I said, I can run an air gun and Damon can help, and we're probably looking at a couple hours to put the desk together, so. I wasn't gonna pay $2,000 for them to come install it, so.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Chris had made a motion to take $3,800 out of the restricted fund to finish Cassie's offices. Electrical and desk and furniture and all that. Scott second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Last, that it?
One last thing.
Right. Well, I mean, I didn't know if the electrical thing was like,
I mean, that's really all I had to say
Yeah.
about the electrical
Yeah.
part. We're gonna take advantage of that free service from MES and let them go through everything and make sure we don't have anything that's overheating or overloaded and.
just let us know whenever you get that back and we'll schedule a meeting so you can give us an update.
Yeah, I'd like to get copies of that if I could for the
Sure.
insurance purposes. That's one thing the insurance company wanted was for us to rewire the building because some of the wiring was older than 50 years. And I just had to tell the guy that's never gonna happen. So we'll have to go with a different insurance company. And he's, whoa, 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 no, I'm not saying that. These are suggestions. And that's what I'm gonna tell you. You can take that off your list. But to know that that's safe.
Yeah.
Might give us some leverage.
Well,
When it comes to our premiums.
Get the town where they had a courthouse fire, a couple of months ago.
Down in Georgia.
Down, and-
Rome, Georgia.
Yeah, and then, so they said, yeah, TVA provides the monies and it's all free,
Free.
and MES does it. All I gotta do is coordinate a time to do it, so that's it.
No,
And I'd be good if Damon wants to walk with us when we do that, but, am I saying his name right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, last thing we're looking at is some, the doors in here, all the office doors here are under access control, okay? And you can do a lockdown, you can really, push of a button, Jason can lock the building down, okay? The doors in her office stand open all the time. They're actually propped open because that's the only thing you can do is either prop them open for the public to come in and out all the time. So, I mean, you could leave them closed, but then it looks like the office is closed and people they don't knock on the door, they don't try to come in.
Put a sign that says open, please come in.
So we're looking at a couple of door closures. She's got two in her office and there's one over on Mara's, I think, to where would require the installation of one of the electromagnetic locks like we've got on all these fire doors. You'd have to put on one of those on there to hold it open so you're not putting a rubber stop under it, okay? So that in the event where there's a true lockdown situation, emergency situation, all they gotta do is hit one button and all doors will close and lock. So that way nobody can get in to the department. So looking at cost on those, you're looking at about $700 a door to do that. And that's just on rough pricing without getting anybody to quote it or anything else, but because you're gonna have to put a closure up there just like that, and that's cheap, that's $140. It's the electromagnetic thing, that cost about $450 to $500 to do that, so.
So the door would start staying closed, not locked, but closed.
No, it would still be open, but if there was an emergency in the courthouse, all they would have to do is hit a button,
Could be.
like a panic button. They'd hit a
But
button.
that closure there has a door stop that holds it open.
I
You see what I'm
know.
saying?
Right,
I know what she's wanting to lock the thing without having somebody to jump over the
Right.
counter to do it.
right.
But to leave the door open, it's gonna have to be magnetically
Right.
open
So you can release it from the other side of the counter.
and it locked, but
Right.
all in one push of a button.
Yes.
And we're talking about those 2 inch doors to either side of your office, the ones that stay.
Right.
That's gonna be more, that's gonna be more than that.
It would be, well, that's the online pricing that I've got. That's not installing them. That's, but these things, you know, the real question I was telling Cassie is how far do we have to take the electrical up through to bring it back over and down?
Well, to incorporate that with the rest of the security in the building, we'd have to go through bank pack because all that stuff's proprietary unless we went with a totally different system for those two
I haven't
doors.
gotten them to quote it. I mean, we just started looking at this and. I
I'm
just
looking
got-
at $2,700 for a monitor for her office,
Yeah,
which they gotta have. I don't know why we didn't, I guess it's one of those things in hindsight, you know, when we mapped this whole deal out, but
We just did. How much? we-
nothing happening at bank pack is cheap is what I'm saying. But I don't know if we would want to do a separate thing. I think it probably needs to be integrated, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
You sounded
it
longer
would
back
make
then.
sense that it would be.
But I guess it does make sense.
Well, because if
Stuff like that.
if the deputies were to hit a total building lockdown, I wanted to shut every door that it can.
yeah,
So
but as it sits now, they have to run down the hallway and lock her doors because they're gonna be quicker than
that's right.
her employees will to go all the way around, and neither one of those is a fast option.
How many other doors do not have this system?
Well, those are the only three doors that stay open to the public all the time. I mean, the other doors in there, the judge's offices, and all those doors are closed.
Myra's office doesn't have
She just has the one door.
Yes.
one door.
That's why I'm saying we're looking at her two and one at Myra's.
Okay.
So it's the three doors
And it has those 2 inches to either
that
side.
the general public can walk into anytime. So
The Judge Moore's office,
it's always closed.
It's always locked.
closed.
You have to have a key fob to get in,
okay,
even if it's.
And you have to be buzzed in to get in.
right,
Correct.
right.
And the way the judges are pissing people off, we probably need to get this done. I said, so.
But we need,
Unfortunately, our world just keeps changing.
They know. So
So we're looking at two doors? So we're just looking at two doors there?
Three doors.
Well, it would be three.
Oh, okay.
Two in her area, one in Myra's.
Your office,
I have two, and Myra has one,
okay,
so three total.
Probably just need to get a bank pack quote and get back together.
yeah.
yeah, that would be the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Get us a hard cost. And if we,
I did get the PO for the monitor for my office. I just took it out of office equipment.
Mm.
So there's supposed to be that.
Good. That's, you got that in your, but, okay.
if we can get that done for when PO's gonna be turned in.
The 15th, but I can call them and tell them that is the case. If they want it, that's what, they better get it in before then.
Well, I mean, we're only talking about two standard off-the-shelf things that they ought to have, so it's,
Well,
getting scheduled is another thing, because they're all gonna get us a quote, so.
yeah,
Now, you mentioned a monitor for,
Like one of those.
Like right here, you'll see the hallways.
Oh,
and things.
okay.
Her office, the area of the office where all the ladies are working.
Yes.
Those counters, there's no monitor. They can't see what's going on out
Okay.
there.
back, I don't think it used to have a big one up there. Did it not years ago?
When we had the old system, we had the whole system in my
System in the
office. Like there wasn't one up front where it sits now. It was actually in my office and there was a monitor, two monitors on the wall
Yeah.
that we
We
could
just
see.
never mentioned that.
And then whenever they got the new system, we just didn't get
We
it.
just get.
yeah,
we
It's
used to
on
take it.
my computer in my office, but again, my computer's password protected, so
Sure.
I just give it to my bookkeeper, so if something were to happen. You know, the last thing, an incident up in Sessions, I took off to go up there to help, and nobody in my office knew what was going on. because
Gotcha.
I just
Got it.
grabbed the radio and left.
Yep.
And Myra saw me run and then she came over and asked my office what was going on and they had no idea. So this would give them some peace of mind to see what's going on and see who's coming in.
Of course. And Bank Pack can give us that.
So they.
She's already got that. She's,
What we got?
Yes, they gave me a quote
Oh,
and I went
okay.
ahead and got the purchase order
Okay,
so that we could go ahead and move forward with that.
Gotcha.
Out of my office equipment.
gotcha. Okay,
It was 2,700. I thought that was.
okay.
The thing I don't understand, we bought all these TVs and they hooked to them.
There is a decoder on the back of that TV that costs about $300. That little square box that's in the back of that. That is a Hisense TV from Walmart.
Well, I know,
The wiring is on the other side of the elevator, so that's what, about 60 feet.
Yeah.
And this quote is $2,700 something dollars. But we also had a repeater go out for the security system here, and that was $600 something dollars. The ones for Pelican that controls all the, those are $120. Nothing at Bank Pack is cheap, is what I'm saying. But when you integrate a system like that and you start putting multiple systems in, I think you're gonna create more problems and you're gonna fix, you know.
so, yeah, this, I think
We could look at a plan B after that, but I would suggest we just get a quote from Bank Pack and go from there.
yeah. So we got a hard figure.
If it's just astronomical, then, you know, if it comes in too high, we'll just tell Bank Pack, sorry, can't do business with you.
There's only one more thing that Myra and I were talking today about, and she wanted me to mention it as well. So when we have circuit civil and she has chancery on the same day, there's a spot up there where the clerk sits. And she's asked if there's a way that we could extend it so that it would be really nice if we could extend it long enough for two people to sit up there. Because here's what's happening. The judge will bounce back and forth between dockets. And so the clerk's having to we're having to swap back and forth between like my office and Myra's office. And we don't have anywhere to really put our files, and we take all of our files with us. So if we have, 20 cases on a docket, we have 20 files. And if she has 20 cases on a docket, she has 20 files. So we're just limited in the amount of space. So granted, I don't really know what our options are. This is just something we just talked about today. There's another little, so it kind of goes, judges up here, clerk and witness are here. And then there's like just a little end piece. And behind it is a copier that I don't know who uses it, but it's there. So I don't know why we can't just extend it a little bit, but you get into, that's construction. That's not something quick and easy.
You talking in Bart's courtroom?
Yes. Yeah. There's only one court going on typically in sessions. And if it's, sometimes we'll have juvenile in there at the same time, but my clerks can sit side by side.
Come on the left side of Judge. That little spot,
Yeah.
looking at the bench.
Yes. Well, if you're looking at the
on the right.
judge, it's on the
that
right.
little spot, right, okay.
Yes, but so in sessions, it's fine. We are able to work that out. It's really a matter of being able to sit at our computer, look at our case files, look at, whatever judge wants to see. And I don't know if we could just, even if we could just extend it a little bit so that we have more room to put our files or,
How often does that happen? Where it's two things on us at the same time like that?
well, we typically, it's usually the busiest twice a month. And then sometimes on Fridays, we may have both, but typically it's just chancery on Fridays. Occasionally, like I said, we do have both, but it's usually just on the second, fourth Tuesday of the month.
You said there's a printer there.
There is, and like I said, I don't know who uses it.
Yeah, I know what special talking about now. It's right there in front of where the officer
So,
stands.
so you just need more counter space, longer counter space,
Yeah, look at Jason. You know,
and,
tell me whatever
and
space he's
another
talking
chair.
If you're looking at.
If we can make it long enough. to-
That's right, from
You're right, his side, his way.
But it is, like I was telling David, it has that bulletproofing stuff there,
I don't know if you.
Yeah.
that I think we had to pay for because I'm not sure who paid for it, to be honest with you. I just know
We got a grant for that.
it was mandated
Yeah.
by the state that
Yeah,
both
we got
judge
a-
side and clerk side both be bulletproof.
We've got a grant for that, I think. if I'm-
With a table, you couldn't just use a table and just stack your separate files up so that they wouldn't get mixed together.
Well, you've got that,
Separate from where you're already at, just an extra table. If you're just setting it up twice a month.
Well, I don't know where you were talking about setting up a table.
The side, like where, you know, right where you go in, right, you talking about the side there where Bart's chambers are?
Yes.
If you put a table up, you're talking about the files, you got yours, Myra's got all hers, if you had a table there for those 2 days, here's your stuff, and they're being able to grab back and forth for the judge should be a little easier than being all cramped in
Well,
that
you
one
got
spot.
that thing that sticks out there.
Basically, something like a little
Covers
stick.
the,
That's what I was talking about. There's a little,
that covers the printer.
I don't know what it is. The printer never gets used. It's like a little,
So it's kind of in the way, really. It's hurting more than
I think
it's helping.
Somebody uses the printer, but I
I
can
just
tell you,
wanna-
I feel like maybe it's adult recovery court, and they come up there with, it, but I don't really know. I've never used it, cause I don't.
Picture
my-
right now.
Is there not a copy machine in the hallway right behind the judge's bench?
No.
Used to be a copier that's set right in that hallway.
Oh, no, I don't know about it. There could have been.
they don't
something,
use
but
it.
I
It's
don't
just in
recall.
the way. I don't know who uses it.
Somebody may use it, but I can find out. I mean, I can show you a picture of what it looks like.
It's just shaped weird, I guess.
Like I said,
because
Myra wanted me to mention it. I don't care a bit to do whatever. I just know that they're constantly having to get up and swap back and forth, and there's, I don't know, it's going up
Yeah, I don't know who uses
It's
it.
just not functional.
If we could move that copier and take care of the problem, that would, sounds like that'd be the easiest thing.
Well, I can ask Mel, because it's not mine. I don't know who's, I'm assuming it's either Mel's or Judge Stingley's or
Yeah.
something. I can't even connect to the courthouse for some
Yeah.
reason, but,
It-
it's just, like, it cuts off, and then there's just like an extra piece, and it may not even be bolted to the ground.
I just think,
I was gonna try to show you a picture, but I can't,
get Damon and go up there and look at it.
like, it's saying that it's not.
Oh.
Yeah, if it looks at it, he'll figure. It's just weird how it. I don't know. I've never saw it. Either. It's just up there
I've never, like I said, I don't even, it's not coming to my computer.
because we never use it for. Learn for a while. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe for looks.
Here's the, what it
Oh,
looks
but-
like.
Yeah.
See, that's,
What's the
where the
copier
judge-
doing under
that's where we sit, and then here's this little
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
thing, and
Yeah,
again,
like
it may
I was
not
saying,
even
I don't-
bolted, but see, there's the
I don't know. I've been
copier.
up there
Yeah.
for years.
We were just like
Oh, well, that don't,
It's got a little covering on it. I don't-
It'd be really nice.
well, the
and
cover over a
When I've been to other
copier.
courts, they do have
I
like
guess to make
multiple people.
the table there.
It's
It's probably a desk, which might
Right.
slide under.
Yeah, and
instead
so
of where-
here.
Yeah,
sit under
sometimes
this, they
you
put a
can
copier
even sit
underneath.
it around.
No, right. So if Myra was.
It's never
where
used.
would
I've never seen it used.
We have to sit over here.
Waiting.
She-
Mm-hmm. We sit over here until our
Okay.
case gets called
So we could bring that wall
out.
this way.
Like I said, I have no idea what the cost is gonna be. It may be way too much, or it may be something that's a simple fix. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're talking about.
Piece and then a reattaching. That's a little more,
Is that,
I think it's-
that material, can you even match it? You know, that it is all, you know, so that color, because that's laminated. It's got that Formica stuff
It's the
covered.
same stuff that was over in session.
Right,
did that
that
wall,
chip off, that Formica is what it was.
did
Don't
that,
ever match that. Again, that same color, there's no way.
yeah. So that wall has to be, bulletproof?
I think so. Yeah, I believe so. I can double check. It's hard to tell. You can kind of see the
Ken,
black line right here. It's right there is,
Yeah.
it's for sure. Yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll get a quote from Bank
It
Pack
may not be the next
Doors.
one.
and have the next meeting up there in the courthouse.
yeah,
And we can all, everybody can just put their eyeballs on it.
can one of you sit where that, if that printer was moved out of the way, could one of you sit there and one of you sit where you normally sit?
Well, there's still nowhere to put our stuff. See what I'm saying? Right now, we have it kind of sitting on that ledge,
Yeah.
and we use like little Coke bottle carriers to put our files in, and we've knocked it over a couple times, which is embarrassing, but that's not the biggest deal. It's, Myra's just really wanting just some more room up there.
Well, let me ask you this. could we not put like a shelf? You got that ledge. If you just put a shelf on the top of it to give y'all more room to set stuff.
Possibly. It'll
Would that-
stick out over that other thing, but I mean, I don't bother.
They just want
It's
to,
the
like, they
height.
just extend more space. However it needs to work, I think is what.
But instead of moving that wall, if you just put like a pine shelf board, and that'd give you more room to set your stuff on,
Sure,
so it wouldn't fall over.
sure. I mean, most.
Basically making a bigger ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be neat.
We just hold it like, and if it's just one container, we just hang on to it until it's our time to go up. And then,
Reset.
and then we swap.
But you see what I'm,
Robert grabs her stuff and then we put our stuff up there. But sometimes whenever he's hopping back and forth, you wind up needing, like, Mindy maybe sitting up there and Myers case is going on and.
Yeah.
So.
but you see what I'm talking
Yeah, no,
about?
I get what you're saying.
Because that may be cheaper than taking that wall down, and if that's been bulletproofed,
Why is those two courts blended together on those 2 days? If you don't-
Because Judge Stanley hears both
He hears both of them.
courts.
So there's no way to separate those to separate days?
So pretty much every day he's on his
Gotcha.
court, we have a jury trial scheduled. So it's just always been that way. Now granted, as we know, not all jury trials go, and we spend a lot more money on my jury and witness fee budget, but they typically.
So these cases have a jury for both courts? You're using that jury, okay, all right, that makes sense.
So Chancery and Circuit both can request a jury trial. And I guess that they call it non-jury day is what they call it for both courts. And so they come up there on those Tuesdays for motions and set things. And like today, I think he's hearing the Putnam County case in the circuit court.
It's just the way they've.
I don't really know why they put them together. I guess it's just because we just have one.
I'm just
jury.
gonna say, if there's a lot of days, there's no court happening in that room.
Sure.
That just couldn't, I know we're on camera, but I'll just say, it. That's why I ask. But if you're having to bring in extra jury folks to separate the days and you're putting them together, then that makes economical sense. So I get what you're saying. That's what I'm asking.
I don't think Myers had a jury trial since I have been there and I take care of her jury trial. If we had one, like she wouldn't pull a jury just for her for her case. We would use my jurors for her case. But Judge Stanley, I'm assuming they did it simply because he hears both courts.
Okay.
He does, OPs that morning, orders of protections, and then he has a docket for us and he has a docket for Myra. And then, I think 2 or 3 times a year, we do something called a docket setting where we have a list of all of our pending cases for both courts. And we call the docket for everyone to come in and set it or give us some sort of an update on what they're doing.
Okay.
I'm sure Myra will be pleased with whatever you guys decide. I think she would just, in my clerk that goes to that court, it would be helpful to have a little extra space
well, I
to
mean,
put our stuff.
would a shelf help?
I would assume so. Most of our files are legal size. So like whenever I have a file sitting over there, either I turn it sideways so that it doesn't hang off or, it depends on how much I have. Sometimes I put stuff in the floor. Sometimes I put stuff in the floor just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
I actually think that thing the printer under is an old printer stand. I think it's not even attached, I don't think.
I
No,
don't think it is either.
I blew it out, looked at it, I don't think it's even attached. So we got.
It's plugged in. There's a green light on it in
Oh,
the
no,
camera.
no, no,
That's
I
what if you're not using
it
it.
works. I'm just saying the
If we're not
cabinet,
using it though,
the
then
cabinet's not attached, so we can.
Just find out who's using that or not. So I've never
but if you had something, the same height as the ledge and wider, you could stack all your files right there and make them
Sure.
more accessible.
Sure, absolutely.
Instead, because I'm think whenever we go to turn that wall out, that's gonna get expensive.
Oh, I'm sure.
So David's gonna look at it. And like Jason said, whenever you get the bank pack, we could always meet at the courthouse the next time, and that way we can all put eyes on it.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, anything to just help with our stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we'll do that. Anything else? Casey, Davis? Scott? Nope. No.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Me?
You're good.
Yeah,
One thing, I guess I am, one thing I wanted to mention to this committee, last budget review meeting, we discussed, we revisited debt service. Debt service fund is in really good shape. We would like to get to the point that we are debt-free. We've got a few years ahead of us. But at this point right now, our interest that we're receiving as opposed to interest we're paying is, we're ahead. So we're making money at that. But we wanted to try to get started with some fund that would allow us to be self-funded with future capital projects. And with that, we recommended that we take $4 million from debt service, which would pretty much put a freeze on debt service this year. Still going to gain a little bit of momentum in debt service for next year, even with taking the $4 million out. But that would establish a fund that in the future, we could, with these capital projects, we could have something in place to self-fund and not have to go through with these capital outlay notes like we are. It's going to be a while. It's a process. But I talked to Terry about that, talked to Justin for a good while, and we brought it up the other night, and the Budget Finance Committee recommended it. One thing that we discussed was who would be the oversight committee or review committee, whatever, for that, and Executive Bell recommended that the Budget Finance Committee and the Building and Grounds Committee come together because those would be the two most pertinent committees to make the decision. And as those committees are seated right now, there would be one overlap, Commissioner Savage, so that would give us an odd number. There would be 9 instead of 10, so there would be a need for a tie break in that situation. But that's upcoming. That's just something I wanted you guys to know it's been recommended and that would be a statutory committee. If you're on this committee or Budget and Finance, then you would by default be on that committee, which, like I say, there's a resolution that's going to get kicked off here pretty soon, and that'll come to full court, but it'll be in the next budget. But that recommendation, Justin and I discussed that, and I know Terry and Justin have discussed it at length, but we would love to see, I would say, Terry, I think there's only one debt-free county in the state
From
of
what I
Tennessee,
understand.
and we're really
Real
close on that.
Yes.
I mean, I would say we're
From what I
really top
understand,
of
there's
that
only
list.
one debt.
McMahon County's the only one that's debt free.
Is that right?
And I don't know what their tax rate is, but I know if we put those two figures together, our low tax rate along with our low debt, I'd say if you put those two figures together, we'd be right up there near the top. So this way, we discussed having, the review advisory committee, whatever we're gonna label that, come together and determine, what the parameters would be as far as, each department possibly submitting a 5-year plan and or 10-year plan, depending on the size of the department, so that we could kind of prioritize and have a little bit of look into the future to determine what we need to do at what time. School system's always big when they have capital projects, and when they do, they're not small, but that would kind of give us an idea of where we needed to be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And we're hoping that we can kind of sit on this fund a little while and let it build and grow a little bit, because debt service is still servicing our debt without any problem. And as long as the tax rate and the interest and everything stays where it is, we're going to be good there. But just want to bring that up to you guys because it has been recommended that you all serve on that advisory committee.
that I go through the full court.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a name we're gonna call it yet, or we're just gonna? Capital improvements, but Justin's gonna reach out to the comptroller and ask them where they prefer us to put it. There's several different codes. We looked at codes the other night. Capital improvements, capital projects, something like that, but it'll be set aside, but Justin will identify it by the time we get the resolution.
It'll be a separate fund though.
Right, yeah.
Just like highway or school.
Yeah,
Ambulance fund, it won't not be in the general fund. every city.
no, yeah,
And we've got to determine how big the projects need to be that fall under the purview of this. And if it be vehicles, because just, Preston, when he buys 2 ambulances, that's, we're knocking on $500,000.
Yeah.
So that's something that we would have to decide, do we want that to come from this project, from this fund, or specifically building related topics only, so. But,
So would you put this in an account that's interest bearing as well?
yeah, we'll invest it.
And so the 4 million, I'm just asking because this is
Yeah.
the first time. So you take the 4 million and put it in there. Are you gonna consistently add to it or are you just gonna start with the 4 million and go? from there?
That's something that is yet to be determined once we put this together, but I would think that we will look at it, reassess, but as debt service pays off, we should have more funding available so that we could keep adding to. That's the grand scheme. That's the plan, because we don't want to put $4 million in there in the end of next fiscal year. Well, $4 million is going to start over. So we're hoping that we can get a jump start on it. So when these projects are finished, I know what's going on with the school system right now, they're funding within their budget. So that's something that we're not going to have to deal with right now. But we've got other projects. Michael knows we've got an ambulance service that we've got to worry about. We've got some repairs. We talked about other repairs that are pending at the courthouse. So there's some things still coming up, but
We got to, we'll fix them windows in front of the building, in the foyer,
and sooner or later, that courtroom floor is going to have to be addressed. We talked
in
about that.
March,
Yeah.
March courtroom.
Yes.
There's no way to sneak up on Mark Stanley.
No.
That's for sure.
Rich joking is like that.
And levitate.
That's part of the courtroom security.
I'm sure it is.
So our debt, what is that number down to now? Do you have,
We're about, Terry, I think we're about 19.6, something like that.
really?
Yeah. About
Wonderful.
19.6, and I think we're sitting pretty good shape,
Good.
service wise, so no problem. We're gonna drop, I think after this fiscal year, we're gonna drop about $1 million off our payments, even more than $1 million.
More than a million.
More than $1 million, close to $1.5 million.
Really?
So when that
So-
drops down, that money's gonna be available.
Yeah,
for
because back in 22, during that election cycle, numbers they were throwing around was north of 30 million.
Yeah.
Somewhere around.
But,
Since we have the media here, won't you tell everybody why we don't just go ahead and pay that off? Just for the public out
We
there.
don't pay that off because we've got a cheaper interest rate that we're paying than we're actually drawing. We're drawing more interest, so it's not physically responsible for us to go pay it off. Because the rates that we secured back when these debts were created are so low and they're paying more interest than that now. So we're actually making money in that gap. So it's not physically responsible to go take the money out of the bank now and pay that off because you have to still pay a lot of that interest.
I think there's only 2 loans that we pay off with no penalty, is that right?
That's right.
Everything else
They're
has to be
really,
paid to.
I think they're really small.
Paying that off already hurts the county
Yeah,
more than it helps.
We're drawing more than we're paying in interest, so
Okay. Well, that's good.
we're in a good place.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. Great.
Anybody got anything else? You got any public comments, sir?
Yes.
If I have anything else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Scott makes a motion, I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Thank everybody for coming.